from an SQL server, from a data point. So there are several ways that you can get data, but that's not the focus. So let's just get started. Since for now we are starting with Excel, so I click on import data from Excel. Good. For now we are using one table and I'll be using my sales data. After tonight I'll not be using sales data again. I'll be using some bigger, tougher data. So I'm picking my sales data. So I click on open. All right. Now from here now, I select the sheets that I want to work with, which it has shown me the data from here. And I said something, I said, if your data is dirty, if the data is not clean yet, you can clean the data by clicking on transform data. So if you click on transform data, remember it will take you to your Power Query. It will take you into your Power Query, and of course, all of us we know how to use our Power Query. All right, use our Power Query interface, and looking at the data, of course, it's clean, so we don't have to do much here. So once we are done, let's assume we have to transform or we have to do any cleaning, or maybe we have to add any column, or we are taking it through any transformation process. When you are done, you go to close and apply. So it brings the data that is clean into your Power BI. This time around, you can see the field section here. It's going to load the data into the field section here. I mean the column headings that we're going to use for our analysis. So it's going to load it here, and then from there. So like I said in the last class, good. The four of them that were here before are no longer displayed. This is what is displaying now. And at the side here we have the entire sheet. So we click on it to see the headings. Please help me mute
Hello.
your mic. All right. Good. So we are seeing it here, the different fields, which has to do with um, different headings. Now, if we want, let's assume, okay, let me call up the objective so that we can have a guide. Objectives for sales data. All right, good. So I want to call up the objective so that we can have a guide that will guide us. All right, good. This is just the preliminary level. That's why I'm calling it up again. Now the data is having um, three different locations, which are this region, the 3 states, and then the 5 products, and then the 11 staffs. The first one says we should advise them which product to stock more. And in our last class, let me go back to Power BI. To know the product to stock more, we are going to be looking at the item and the total. So I go to item and then the total of the item. Good. All right. So these are the these are the 5 items. We have the binder, we have the desk, we have the pen set, and then the pencil. This is the total sales of each of them. But the idea behind Power BI is not to do another calculation, but to use visuals, to use charts to be able to explain it. So now, for the first one, now we are not using just data. So let's call up a chart and see how it's going to look like. Good. So we are using a bar, a column chart. So now for the first objective, we have a sum of each item by the total sales for each of the item. Now, advisably also, there's something I want to tell us. Before you start your visualization, it's always best your dashboard has a heading, so that whoever is going to read it can actually flow with it very well. You can actually use a text box. Okay, fine. For now, I'm leaving it here. Then we just type inside. There must be a heading. Let's say total sales volume for wrap engineering for 2019 to 2020. Good. We can now do our regular, let's say, formatting that we normally do. So we can increase, let me highlight it. We can increase the font size. Let me use 24. Okay, good. You can make it bold. You can change the color depending on you. Good. Can you see? I can decide to reduce the size a bit to 20. All right. I can decide to centralize it. Good. I can decide to change the font shape depending, but I think I'm good with this. Now, with these now, good. You can see I need it to be a heading so that anybody that is looking at this will know that, oh, this chart has a heading. Good. Now I can still bring the chart down because there's a reason why I created this space. I'll talk about that later. So now this is the first one. We've seen the first objective. I'll click outside. Good. I go back. What's the second objective telling me? Which of the states to open a second branch? So we are looking at region and total. Good. So I go back. I'm selecting region. You can see, and total. Now I go to my visualization. Since it's only 3, I can use maybe a donut to represent it. All right, let me bring it closer. Okay, good. All right, I can use a donut to represent it. All right, and then let me zoom out. Okay, so that we can see it, and I'll reduce it later. Good. I've seen it. I'm done with the second one like this, the second objective. At a glance, I can see there's somewhere we are going. Now I go back. What's the third objective? Who to appoint as manager in each of the branches. Good. This one is talking about rep and sales. Three things: rep, sales, and region. Good. Let me go back. All right. Now, please pay close attention to what I want to do now. Before you start working on another objective, make sure you click outside. Don't select the old chart or the one you have done and then start another one. It will override the one that you are working on before. So you click outside. Good. Rep and total. Good. Rep and total. Good. What do I want to use? Do I want to use a pie chart? No, it wouldn't make sense. That's why I'm not going to use a pie chart. Can I use a bar? No. Can I use a stacked? No. Better. So you can see I have to try different ones and see the one that can actually help me to the chart that can easily help me to achieve what I wanted. Good. But remember, for these now, they are looking at the region. Who is the best salesperson in a particular region? So in solving this particular one, we will bring in what we call a slicer. Let me repeat what I said. I said we'll bring in what we call a slicer. Now, the role of the slicer, this is a slicer here. Good. When I click on a slicer, I've made a mistake. The mistake I made is I click on the chart and I called up another one. So the problem is, good. Undo worked because it's only one move. So I click outside and I click on the slicer. Good. The slicer is now, it has dropped here. The question is, which item are we now going to use to slice? We will now use region because there are only 3 regions. What you are having here at the moment is for all the regions. So they said they want to know the best in each region. So I click on central. Can you see? For central, we are only having 6 salesperson. For east, we are having 3 salesperson, and then for west, we are having 2 salesperson. So at a glance, central is Kivel, east is Parent, and west is Sovino. We don't have to be going through the chart over and over and over again. With this, we can understand it. Now, that's the third one. Now, it doesn't end here. Let me reduce the chart so that we can. Good. Let me pause on the first 3. Then let me bring the slicer here. Let me take the chart up. Good. Because I needed it to do something else. Okay. All right. Because I click west, that's why I'm seeing only 2. Can you see? I've unchecked central now, so it's showing me all at once. Now, these slicers control everything that you have. The first thing we did was selecting a chart. The second one is to add a slicer to be able to control the view. The third thing we want to do next is to add what we call a card. Let me say it again. The third thing now I want to do, which I have not done before in this class, is to add what we call a card. Now, a card it will give you the summary of what you are doing on your chart. That is the role of a card. So please kindly follow me as I'll be putting the card now. Now, this is my card. This 1, 2, 3. Some call it card, some call it measure, some call it KPI. But relax. Let me click on the card. Sorry, let me undo it. All right, good. So because I selected the slicer I used, so I'm clicking outside first and then I click my card. Good. This is the card. The card gives you a summary of, it will display only one result, a summary of the total. Watch what happens. Now I have my card. Now, what is the total sales for Central? What I want card to carry is total. Can you see? I click on total. The total sales volume for this year is 19.63K. That's 19,630. Good. Now watch what I'm going to do next. I click on Central. Look at it. From Central, we have 6 staffs. This is the sum of the total for the Central. Please get this area very well. I want the total for Central. Look at it, 11.14. If I want the total for East, can you see? 6K, that's 6,000. Now, in the, okay, can you see now? We have 3 salesperson. We have 4 items, and then we sell 6K. If I go to the West, good, 2 salespersons. Look at, okay, let me zoom out. Sorry. Good. Okay, fine. Look at the sum of total by region, 2.49K. And look at what you have here. So instead of straining your eye to look at it here, remember we're having sum of total by region. So for each region, you are having it here. But this one now, it's more easy to see. If I come down here and I click on desk, only desk, instead of going to my Excel worksheet to be checking, what's the total sales for desk? The total sales for desk in the West is 825. The total sale for pencil in the West is 231.12. The total sales for pen in the West is 151. You can see now where the strength of Power BI lies. So you can take several decisions with what you are looking at. You can say, oh no, pen is not giving much in the West though. But wait, let's go back to our card. Let's remove, we want to see all this time around. Good. Now, because we only highlight pen, so this is the total sales of pen overall. Let's look at it. 2.05K. Only pen. If I want to check all, 19.63K. So now, I have my slicer. This is my slicer here. Let me put it in the middle so that I don't have to be scrolling every time. All right, good. My slicer control what is being displayed on the screen per time. My card give me the sum of total, cumulative sum of total of an item that I want to see on my report. So now, good. Now, me looking at it now. If I want to see the total, okay, what is Kivel's total sales? Look at it. Only Kivel 3.11k. We don't have to go to Excel to know what the total sales of Kivel is. We don't have to go back to from here with the power of a card and with the power of a slicer and with the power of your visualization. This is not PowerPoint that is static. No. You can see 3.11, 3.10, and it's giving you what is sold. Even though Kivel was the best selling person, Kivel wasn't selling two items. Look at it. Kivel never, you can see, Kivel never sold pencil and pen. He focused more on binder, on pen sets, and also on desk. But he still became the best salesperson. Maybe pencil and pen is not selling much. I'm not saying so. We are just looking at the data objectively and then we are taking business insights and decision. So you can see the way we put the heading. You can see the way we applied a card. You can see we applied a slicer. Let me pause here and take questions. I want to pause at this level first and then let me take questions from us.